Hello there, everybody. Today is Tuesday, November the 16th, and I would like to welcome you to our Tuesday's tune from the shop. Now, first off, I'd like to thank you all for the absolutely stunning reaction to last week's video of the Independence. Got shared quite a few times, loads of comments, loads of views. I'm glad you all enjoyed the tune so much. I have another goofy little hornpipe for you today since you liked that last one so much. But first, in the comments of last week, an old friend of mine named Matt Whitaker, who lives out in San Francisco for the last 30 years or so. I knew Matt from American Fife and Drum Corps way back in the day. Matt was one of the absolute top level American field drummers, snare drummers. Then he decided to leave the East Coast and head out to Frisco, and he's been rolling around out there ever since. Matt suggested Tunesday with Skip, which I think has a lovely ring to it. So Matt, thank you very much. Everyone, welcome to Tunesday from the shop with Skip. This hornpipe that I mentioned actually has a San Francisco connection for me, so it plays very nicely with the new name for the series. This is a tune I believe was written by Scottish composer Scott Skinner. And the San Francisco connection to this tune is I was out there in the 1980s or early 90s, and I was frequently out there with my old running buddy, the great Scottish fiddle player Johnny Cunningham. We were playing together down on Geary Street in a place called Ireland's 32. And right around the corner from Ireland's 32 is another pub called Cork in the Bottle. And at the time that we were in San Francisco, it turns out that the great Irish fiddle player, Paddy Reynolds, was playing shows in the Cork and Bottle. So when Johnny and I finished our duties in Ireland's 32, we walked the 50 yards back to Cork and Bottle and sat in with Paddy for a while. At the end of the night, everyone was invited back to one of the barmen from Ireland's 32, back to his apartment to have a bit of crack, a bit of a session. So everyone goes over to this guy's apartment. We come in the door, and we're greeted by this enormous, beautiful living room. But there is absolutely nothing in the living room. Not a chair, not a plant, not a picture, nothing, except against one wall was a small table. And on top of the table was one television. And on top of that was a second television. So curious souls that Johnny, Paddy, and I were. Paddy Reynolds at this time was well into his 70s, but still playing like a demon. Amazing, amazing fiddle player. So we all walked over to this little installation, and we're having a philosophical discussion amongst us. What is the meaning of this? Is this like a statement on technology? Is this what's the guy trying to say with this? And our host comes walking over and said, hi lads, how you doing? We're organizing some chairs. We'll have, get the session going in a couple of minutes. And Johnny says, look, I gotta ask you, what is this? What are you trying to say with this? And he says, well, I'm not trying to say anything with it. The television at the bottom has sound but no picture, and the one on the top has picture but no sound, and so that's my television. And Paddy Reynolds, the Irishman, looks over and says, that makes absolute sense to me, lad. Very good indeed, very good, very clever. So chairs were organized. We start playing the session. Session goes on and on and on. And at one point, Johnny kind of half-jokingly says, God, does anybody know any Scottish music here? And Paddy Reynolds looks at him and says, some Scottish tunes. Lovely idea. And he goes into a Scottish tune that clearly Johnny didn't know. There's kind of the system, for those of you who don't know, in a session a lot of times, one person will start a tune and kind of look around to see if anybody else knows it. If nobody else knows it, you go into a different tune, kind of fishing for consensus. And so Paddy probably played, and I'm not kidding, about 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes of Scottish tunes at Johnny Cunningham. And Johnny didn't know one of them, amazingly. And Paddy stops, and he looks at Johnny and says, I thought you wanted to play some Scottish music. And Johnny says, ah, screw those Scottish tunes. Let's play some Irish ones. And so Paddy says, wait a minute, one more chance. And he came to this particular tune. This tune is called The Mathmatician. It's a well-known tune, not played a whole heck of a lot. It's another one of these kind of party piece or showpiece tunes. It's kind of a half Irish hornpipe, half Scottish strathspey. Very popular with fiddle players. That's why Johnny and Paddy both knew it. I actively always search out these tough fiddle tunes to play on the flute and show we flute players can play those also. The reason this, I think, is not in favor with flute players is because it goes pretty high up into the third octave, which flute players are kind of want to do. Now, all you flute players out there, I want you to look at your flute. Okay? See, it has a circular part here and a conical part here. This conical part down here means you can play 3 octaves on the instrument. That's the whole reason for having a conical design in the flute, is so that you have an achievable third octave. So let's see if I can live up to that claim, and we'll give a go to the old Mathematician. Again, I think it's a Scott Skinner tune. There you go. A bunch of notes. Mathematician. Great old hornpipe, strathspey. Give it a go. You can figure it out. You can probably find the notes someplace if you don't do it by ear. In any case, flute players, play some third octave notes. Good for you. Show them you can do it too. For now, that's it from the shop. See you again next Tuesday for our next Tunesday with Skip. Cheers, everybody. Keep practicing. You can get it.